name's Stewart Newman. I'm from here in Portland. I'm part of Port Lug, which is our local adult fans of Lego group. And I brought my two towers build. I started last year, right after Bricks Cascade from last year, and got inspired to build the Tower of Orthanc, which is Saruman's tower from the Lord of the Rings, and completed that in a couple of months, and then decided I really wanted to build the second tower, the Barad-dûr, which is Sauron's tower, and so brought them both, and this is the first time I've been able to display them both together. The Sauron's tower took about 9 months to put together. I started with the main tower section at the top and put together the octagonal sections. They actually just stack. So they just stand on top of one another. And then I put the eye on top. There's a flashlight built into the eye to allow it to light up. And it does pivot, so it moves around. And then I just started working on the base. And I started with the guard towers at the front and then the gatehouse behind that, to kind of get the sense of the aesthetic, and then filled in with the lava moat, and then started building the walls and the various levels to support the main tower. And then I did find from Brickset a design for the fell beasts and purchased that online and adapted it kind of to my own needs. But there are 3 fell beasts with Nazgul. There are 3 of the cave trolls, and then a variety of different orcs. Sauron is up here in his little tower overseeing everything. It has working doors in the front. It has the mouth of Sauron directly above those main doors. And I was really just going for black, shiny, spiky, and evil looking. So that was really what I was going for with this.
Yeah. So you mentioned the towers just kind of sit on top of each other. So how is that kind of structurally as this build comes together and you bring it to a show?
So the build itself actually comes apart. It's built on the 48 by 48 base plates, and they all separate, so I can take it apart into 9 different sections. And basically load it into moving boxes, and the main tower section actually lifts off, and I can take each of those apart. The tall towers just come off, and then I can cling film those and wrap them up and bring them in a separate box. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get it set up, but once it's in place, it's in good shape.
And I know you mentioned the second tower over here, so what were some of the challenges with this one?
So this is the Tower of Orthanc, which of course Lego created their own version of this, and I had the Lego Orthanc Tower, and right after Bricks Cascade last year, I just started looking at mine and deciding I wanted to make it bigger, I wanted to enclose the back, and I just started to kind of take their design and put my own creativity to it. I wanted to make it much taller, and so just started working from there. And this one is like a layer cake. It comes apart in different layers that I can then just kind of pack up. But this one I completed soon after the last Bricks Cascade, so I've taken this to a couple of other conventions that we do here in Portland, and people were very enthusiastic about seeing Lord of the Rings stuff. That's part of what inspired me to go ahead and try something as big as Barad-dûr, because people were just really enthusiastic and excited about it. So,
what are the challenges of building this tall with these builds and kind of keeping the height in mind and just kind of supporting all that and making sure that it's not going to fall apart?
I think the key is you have to have a very solid base. You need to have enough structural integrity lower down to support the weight. The Barad-dûr, again, because the upper sections are hollow, it's not as big of a concern. Orthanc is a little bit more solidly built, and so it's really got some weight to it. But once you get them in place, they're very stable, honestly. This one, it's more about the fragility of all the little spiky pieces that can pop off, and going through very systematically and making sure everything is there, it's put on correctly, all the little spikes of the castle walls are put on. But again, once it comes together, then I think it cuts an impressive figure. So
Do you have any idea how many pieces are in each of these builds?
I have no idea. These were mostly just free built, and as I would run low on bricks, I would order more, and a lot of it was using what kind of bricks I had or had access to and trying to use them in a creative fashion. So there's a lot of snot techniques in here. There's a lot of, repurposed things that I just tried to be as creative as I could to give it that kind of very sinister look.
Yeah. And what was the height on each of these?
Orthanc is about 5.5 feet, and Barad-dûr is just under 8 feet.
Okay. Yeah, that is super impressive. So I'm glad you were able to bring both of these out to the show and just kind of very recognizable from Lord of the Rings. So great work here. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.